We go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a preview of the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show. I am here with the great, the one, the only Billi Bhatti. Billi, you don't seem like you're in a very good mood this morning. What's going on, bro? Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, I'm not in the best mood. Yeah, it's just this coming on to do the show. I put out some news this week. Other people have the news today. They're all credited for it. It's just the same shit. It's the same shit just with this whole thing. I mean, there's one guy here. What's his name? I'm going to give him a mention for his Twitter. His name is Brad Ass TV. He's definitely a subscriber to the brand, quite clearly. And somebody's complaint. He's gone underneath a tweet here where he's said, "Now you know how Billi Bhatti feels." And if I follow it up, it's some guy crying, saying, "Within seconds of Sean Ross Sapp breaking the news of Tom Phillips no longer being with WWE, all I see is wrestling accounts posting the news with no sourcing. Credit to folk to get your information from folks. I can't stress that enough." And this guy's put, "Wow, now you know how Billi Bhatti feels." Probably going to say, "Don't know who that is." That's because a lot of them all steal his news and don't credit him because they have a personal problem with him, etc. Zero sourcing ever. And this dipshit Sapp put, none of us listen to that dope. It's like,
did he really say dope?
Yeah. He said that because Cab sent it to me because I blocked him, and Cab says, we need to attack this guy. And he's put, "Man, you're a fucking moron if you think any of us pay attention to anything that dope says." Well, the whole group of you, that any of the lot of us, that just says it all, because you're all a fucking group of little marks that watch the same shit, that sit around watching your shitty Japanese tapes and think that you are the news community because you go and get your information from Adam at the WWE, like I keep saying. And even in terms of this story I have on the other side with this Keith Lee story, he's actually quoting this Keith Lee situation where someone said, "Oh, Keith Lee's been released," and this dipshit piece of shit comes back and says, where is it? Where's the story? He goes, "I've reported numerous times he isn't cleared. I've reached out to WWE and he isn't released." Oh, this is really this is really big news. He's not cleared. Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock Holmes. He's not on fucking TV. You don't need to reach out to anyone to say if the guy is cleared or not cleared. And then in terms of I reached out to WWE, he's not released. Well, we know he's not released because there's a rumor that he's been released, but he's not officially been released because it hasn't come through the .com, and they're obviously not going to release him anyway while he's not cleared, because he's the talent that they wanted to push and they did it wrongly. And whoever started that rumor is just full of crap. But it's just consistent with these guys. It's just frustrating to this point where if I'd be more frustrated if I relied on this for any kind of income or like I gave a shit. But it's in terms of actually then it's one thing to be ignored. That's fine. I'm used to being ignored. But to discredit when it's out there as actual fact, when I come on here, there's videos, there's dates. Vince, who the fuck was throwing out the term a year ago? The
Billi.
term liability waiver. Can you just back? Remember the term liability waiver?
First of all, everybody you're talking about, okay? I'm gonna say everybody. I'm not gonna point anybody out. Bro, they are wrestling marks because they don't talk about the thing that really matters. And the thing that really matters is the business. What is going on in the wrestling business? That's real news. That is news. That is like covering NBC or ABC or Google or Microsoft. You're covering, when you cover the WWE as a business from the inside, it really makes you understand a lot how the company functions, how Vince McMahon functions. Bro, who wins a title, who loses a title, what this person's plans are at SummerSlam. Who gives a shit, bro? And
that's the problem. That's the problem in terms of doing this as a living, and in terms of like needing to have a conversion rate, a percentage conversion rate in your stories. The accuracy of a source comes to fruition when you say someone's going to win a belt, or you say this guy's going to win this match, or you say this storyline is going to come to fruition. I get a lot more, credit and props from turning around and saying so and so last week are going to lose the tag team titles. But when I come on here and talk about a liability waiver 12 months ago and saying WWE's insurance, I'm not going to let them run events. The only way they're going to get into live events is by making people sign a liability waiver. Now they're coming back into live events. They're more comfortable in their shareholders asking for a liability waiver because they're not the first show back. And whereas UFC and other companies haven't necessarily gone through liability waivers, the care and attention to companies that are opening up is not as high, and the liability waiver is in play. Now, this story crept under the radar this week because everybody's trying to work out where SummerSlam's going to be and what the Money in the Bank title match is going to be and all this kind of shit you just spoke about. But the fact is the liability waivers is a fact, and it was a story this week, and it was done here a year ago. The term liability waiver wasn't being said by anybody. The name Nick Khan wasn't being said by anybody a year ago. Now we've got Dave Meltzer tying Nick Khan to bullshit that Nick Khan wouldn't even negotiate. And I'm going to talk about that on the other side, as much as I want to get it off my chest here because it seems relevant. Dave Meltzer now, he knows the name Nick Khan. He knows the name that this guy is involved in things. And this old man, Mark Meltzer, is now tying Nick Khan to something that Nick Khan would never, ever, ever in 100 years be in negotiations with. I'm not saying the negotiations are not happening, but Nick Khan at his billion-dollar level is not talking to little wrestling companies to try and do trade talent deals.
See, Billy, let me explain to you what's going on here. And I'm going to tell somebody, guys, if you really want to identify who's a mark and who's a journalist, I'm going to tell you right here how to do this, because I saw this week and it was both embarrassing and comical. First of all, Billy, they're stealing your news because they know you're behind the paid wall. And they know, only a certain amount of people are going to get this news because they pay for your expertise. They pay for the job you do. So they know it's not going out to the masses. So there's only a selected few, a couple of thousand people that are going to hear it first. So they know that, okay? Here's number two, bro, which this is the tell-all test of these wrestling marks. Billy, do you ever watch any of the videos when they actually get a wrestler on the show and how they conduct themselves? Yep. Bro, they come across like 10-year-old girls. They come across giddy and laughing at everything that the talent says. Bro, it's freaking embarrassing. And that's why when I watch those videos, which Billy would never do, and you know why I'm telling you, bro, Billy would never do that? Because I do a show with Billy where he interviews me. And Billy asks me all the hard questions, and sometimes Billy presses me. Billy would never do an interview with a talent and be freaking giddy. And that's embarrassing. And then they want to call
yesterday. Prime example of that. We're talking about the Avengers situation that you were trying to build up with the main eventers and the young guys when you wanted them to all feud each other. And I said to you straight, I went, Vince, why did you think that they were going to put? They were only been putting each other over for years. Why did you think they were suddenly going to put over Shane Douglas and and
Right.
Jeff Jarrett and Kidman. And I said,
Right.
why did you think they would do that? I said it to you yesterday.
Yep. No, you do that all the time. And watch these guys conduct an interview. Listen to Meltzer when he's talking to Tony Khan. He sounds like a 5-year-old schoolgirl, bro. Billy, look at freaking Billy, bro. Do you think Billy would mark over doing a freaking interview with Tony Khan? Like, seriously, bro, that's how you tell who, and that's why you pay for Billy. Billy should not be giving this news for free, bro. If you want the trivial bullshit, bro, of, oh my God, listen, Billy, you and I, I know you don't like Raj. I like Raj, but I say this all the time, bro. And sometimes I do shows around this, bro. I go to Wrestling Inc. and just go down all the headlines. It's freaking hysterical, the stuff they're talking about, Billy. That's why you pay for Billy's information, bro. Because
that's the other thing. In terms of doing the interviews, the approach that I always had to it was, we interviewed Jake the Snake Robert. We interviewed Drew McIntyre multiple times. Colt Cabana. We interviewed you. We interviewed Drew McIntyre multiple times actually. We had loads of interviews that we ended up we ended up finding that we didn't need them. We didn't need the WWE ones. We didn't end up airing full versions of the WWE interviews we got because they were boring. Like in terms of if you any tried to press any kind of issue. Right. It didn't really, nothing came to fruition. But the ones that we did air, the ones that we did with people that were outside of the company or former wrestlers like Jake the Snake, or anything we did with you, or Kevin Nash, or Hulk Hogan even, like they all came, and Bret Hart they had as well. They all came across a lot better because of the way we spoke to them. And from my perspective, rightly or wrongly, and people may take issue with me for this. My perspective was, I've been on TV. I've been handed a lot of money just for being on TV. A lot of people have watched the show. I've been in a situation where I've gone out. People want to hang out with me. I've been given free drugs, free alcohol. Everybody, they want to know you. And that's the thing. Like, they wanted to know me.
Like when Dave, is it kind of like when Dave walks into Hot Topic?
And he goes, and asks them, like, excuse me, do you know how many Bullet Club t-shirts you've written? And goes in every
bro, just the thought and the picture of my mind of Dave Meltzer walking in a Hot Topic with his psychedelic tie-dye sweatshirt wrapped around his all right, Billy, what's going on?
And getting back to my point, that's the thing. I never approached it as if they were better than me.
No.
Like, and the thing is, I was like, okay, my thing is that you made it here, but I know, I'm familiar with a lot of aspects of your life. I'm familiar with them, so we could just have a chat here like normal people. There's no superiority complex in my interviews. I'm not like putting someone up here and talking down. We're having a conversation. I've had to try to have real conversations with everybody, like on a level. And the thing is that all the interviews you're talking about, they're not on that level. It's like, there's an overwhelming, too much gratitude. Obviously, you've got to be gratuitous for people that give you interview time, but you don't need to suck dick on these things all the time. And there's that sucky dicky feel to every single interview that they do, and it's clearly there. Watch Saturn get these guys in every week. And he does laugh, and the thing is, people have told me they hate being interviewed by him, and it was cringeworthy. So,
Billy, what's on the other side, bro? What's on Nitty Gritty Dirt Show?
Yeah, so I'm gonna re-explore that Keith Lee situation without being massively vague about it, like Sap is, and thinks that's news. We're going to talk about a possible change in a direction for Alexa and Lily. Not majorly. It's still on the same sort of track that I mentioned before, but there may be some intricate pieces added to it. There's already heat on the new announcer. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that Dave Meltzer story where he's now trying to name drop Nick Khan. I want to answer a question here in 1 second. And I've got all the SummerSlam news, including the main event, which was broken on my site by me 2 days, not by not by this idiot who's taking credit for it. Everybody worships WrestleVotes for no reason. I keep saying to people, go to WrestleVotes.com and see who owns WrestleVotes.com. See what page you land on when you go to WrestleVotes.com, because WrestleVotes is just a guy. He's a kid called Harry who wanted to write, who wrote for the Dirty Sheets, but I did not like his grammar. So it was worse than Austin's. Austin can write on my site, and I do less corrections on Austin's work than I was doing for this Harry kid. So he went and just opened up a wrestling account called WrestleVotes. That's who that is, and all it does is it steals news from my Patreon page because he's sour about the fact he doesn't work there. Plus, he thinks he can grow his account off it, and he's done well. Like, that account has grown. I've had multiple accounts that have had more followers than that, but unfortunately, I can't keep myself on Twitter. But one thing I have noticed now on Twitter is there is a thing that comes up now where it says, "Are you sure you want to say this?" Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Or have you not come up?
I have not seen that. No.
Oh, try saying like
you need that. You need that though, bro. That's good for you.
Yeah, try saying enough like FPC and all these words
Bro,
in there.
Did you see that they gave Paige the boot on Twitch? Did you see that?
No, Paige got sacked on Twitch.
Bro, she did a watch along with Dumb and Dumber, and they suspended her. How did she think she could get away with that? You can't do that stuff, bro. I mean, I'm sure they'll bring her back in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
But they put the kibosh on it in the middle of the watch along, bro.
And I say this to Cab all the time. I say, look, the podcast, it's Vince Russo talking about the WWE. At some point, the WWE it's going to land on WWE's radar. Podcast and a poll inevitably will end up being listened to by somebody. And he puts a lot of clips in there from Raw and SmackDown. And I keep saying to him, you got to keep it down to like 30 seconds or a minute, because there's like fair use laws. I don't know how much they exist on podcasts. I haven't looked into it enough, but I don't want to get the show pulled or get a strike or anything like that. Yeah. Copyright strike from WWE, because some of the things you say on there they're not going to like, and it's like, it's not a wholly like negative show, but it's not also wholly complimentary on WWE during that period. So yeah, that can be like a concern, and obviously they can do that. I mean, we've seen AEW pulling down videos from their own show just because they made a mistake on their show, and people are like highlighting it. Every video of that ring blowing up wrong was taken down.
All right, Billy, tell everybody about Lock Betting Dirty Sheets podcast on a poll. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the Dirty Sheets the DirtySheets.com, I will start there, is where I give all of my news. These guys will steal it, so you will get it. It's not a great plug for the site to say that you'll inevitably get the news anyway, but if you have any like morals, then you should at least get it from the right person who writes the news first, as opposed from getting it secondhand from these dweebs 2-3 days later. And then obviously, for me, it's not really like a massively financial project, because I make money from the other stuff I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be discussing the news with Vince 4 or 5 days later here. But I feel like having these discussions gives the news like a better edge anyway from someone who worked there. But that's the DirtySheets.com. LockBetting.com is my betting page. June is a huge month for us. It's the soccer season ends, but then we have Euro 2020, Euro 2020, which is now Euro 2021, a massive soccer tournament, Copa America, French Open tennis, Wimbledon, NBA playoffs, meat and potatoes of the MLB season, where we'll hopefully give Vince some more betting picks as we start to work out who everybody is and what pitches are what they're like, and you get more information with the season ERAs, and it's really difficult. I spoke to the guys like, why are we getting so little 1 unit plays? Because he just said like you need to like basically have a good barometer of bounce backs and ERAs and everything like that, and obviously, and he explained to me something in terms of I don't really follow baseball to that extent, where he's talking about how many pitchers get Tommy John surgeries and seeing how they play and giving them a period of time where their ERAs pre Tommy Johns won't match up how they'll do the immediate season after. And he actually knew an exact correlation in terms of the second season after a particular surgery. As soon as he started talking about that, I just went, you know, it's totally fine. Like, you send me that stuff as you want it, because if you can talk to me about, if you know the statistics of a surgery and how long it takes properly, I'll let you do your job.
Yeah, Billy, I've seen that many times, and I've read about that many times. When somebody has Tommy John, they're usually out, bro, for at least 15 months. And then when they come back, there's usually about 3 months where they're not back. But then after that 3 months, they're back to form. I've seen that a million times. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And then sometimes you can go through a season and someone's halfway through Tommy John and they may have like an ERA of like 3.5 or something, but they actually may be a good pitcher who's coming and getting right. So explained all this stuff to me. So like, yeah, now I understand more why we're not getting a load of high, we're getting volume in MLB, but we're not getting like high stakes. But obviously, as we head to the month of June, things can probably change. So that's lockbetting.com with 96 months in a row of profit. And the pinned tweet is at my gambling Twitter account at SGP Soccer. My wrestling Twitter account is at WWE Trashbag. And every single Tuesday, I do the Dirty Sheets with Cav. Every month, I do Podcast on a Poll with Vince Russo and Cav. The next episode we will be recording will be in the middle of June. So try and catch up with all of the other shows that are out at the moment. May was just a huge month with so much going on with the Brian Pillman, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Old Day in Hell pay-per-view. We also do a bonus show over on Patreon when me and Cav look at the show that we just did with Vince, kind of analyze the questions, analyze what we've got coming up, and we take an in-depth look at WCW. That's podcastonapoll.com, where there are also bonus shows with Vince Russo. Today, we'll be dropping the Randy Savage bonus show, which will go along with the Warrior bonus show, the Sid bonus show, the Vader bonus show, the Linda McMahon bonus show, a Shawn Michaels bonus show, and a Undertaker bonus show as well. So podcastonapoll.com is the Patreon for that.
Austin's Toys and Games.
Oh, yes. And the final thing is at Austin's Toys and Games on Instagram is Austin's Instagram account. He goes back and forth actually with Jeremy Powder. Jeremy Powder's a guy who worked for Jax, who developed the best line of toys that they've ever made, which was WWE Superstar Classics. And he now works for AEW. So yeah, they chat on there quite a bit. So yeah.
Cool, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna go jump over right now. Billy's gonna get into the nitty gritty of the news, bro. Go over to patreon.com/Russo TWC, bro. It starts at 75 cents a week. Check us out, guys. For me and the great Billy Bhatti, we will see you on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Show.